I just saw my ex-husband of 18 years with his new girlfriend. And weird is the only word I honestly can think of. It's still a little shaky.
What exactly is there to be shaky about? You're upset that your fucking ex-husband is on his own having a good fucking time while you are, I guess, stationary? You thought he was gonna stay around, be all sad and try to come fucking back? You wanted to fucking go! He said bye-bye. Have a good fucking night.
My husband.
Your husband, okay. He's about to divorce you? Or you're about to divorce him?
He just left.
He just left you. Okay. Your husband left, and when you focus on that, what do you say to yourself that makes you depressed, that brings those tears?
That I thought it was certain.
One reason he's gone, I might guess, I can't tell you for sure, but we'll find out, is probably because she created so much certainty that he didn't feel alive. Is that true or false?
That's probably true.
In what way do you think that might be true?
I just had a baby and I wanted, I don't know, I think he maybe needed a little bit more freedom, and I thought that it kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. So that's why I was in shock over it, and I thought it was certain because everything was beautiful, and it just came out of nowhere.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you think it came out of nowhere for him, yes or no? Here's what always happens when I talk to couples, and I've done it with hundreds of thousands, literally. They'll get together and one will be very, very emotional, or they're both very emotional, and one of them will say, I gave you what? Everything except what he needed.
You want to lose a good man fast? Simple. Just follow these 3 steps, and I guarantee you he will be gone before you even realize what happened. Step 1. Disrespect him. The fastest way to kill love is disrespect. Roll your eyes at him. Cut him off when he talks. Talk down to him in front of other people. Laugh at his ideas. Make him feel this small. A good man will not stay where he feels disrespected, because respect is the foundation of how he gives and how he leads. The second he loses that, the relationship is done. Step 2, withhold your intimacy. Then make sex a bargaining chip. Weaponize intimacy. Punish him by shutting him out physically and emotionally. Make him feel like attraction is something he has to beg for. When a man feels unwanted by the woman he chose, it cuts him deeper than you think. So he will check out, and once he does, it is almost impossible to bring him back. And finally, step 3, be constantly negative. Finally, complain about everything. Focus on what he isn't instead of what he is. Criticize instead of appreciate. Nitpick the small things and ignore the effort he does put in. Nothing crushes a man faster than realizing no matter how hard he tries, he will never be enough in your eyes. So yeah, do these 3 things and you will lose a good man fast. Or you can flip it. Respect him, desire him, and appreciate him. That's how you keep a man who actually will show up for you.
I'm convinced some women just want the wedding day and not a marriage.
Married?
Yeah.
You were married?
I was married. I was a married woman.
What?
Yeah.
How long are y'all married?
Not long, probably 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
such a great guy, amazing guy, but we just didn't want the same things in life.
Okay.
He was okay with just love and, going to church and having a family, going to work and raising kids. And
You
I was
feel like you
I
wanted
want more.
way more. Yeah, I get that.
And I shouldn't feel bad for wanting more.
Did you feel like you knew y'all weren't on the same page before you walked down the aisle? So why'd you do it? What was the reason?
That's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
When a man proposes to a woman, that's a lot. And in front of people,
I didn't want to let my community down. They thought this was beautiful.
look, I gotta say yes. After that situation, I'm gonna tell you what you don't want to hear, because someone should have told me.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna put that responsibility on them. But if someone would have been like, hey girl,
This ain't.
you're not even happy right now.
He was happy.
Yeah.
Man.
And that makes it harder.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you have someone that loves you. But at the end of the day, love is not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough, because love is a choice. Are you gonna...
So you heard her say her womanese, saying that he's a great guy. They've been married for 2 years, and he's the one who wanted to be in love and family and church and God and all these great things, but she didn't want it. What did she want? She wanted to be a fucking bop. That's exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to be out in these streets. She had FOMO. I don't know how old she is. She looks in her mid-30s. I'm not gonna cap. But it just goes to show that a lot of women just want the title. They just want the, oh, I'm married. Somebody cared about me enough to get on one knee and propose and do this whole big wedding thing, and they don't even appreciate it. And it's funny to me because a lot of women will pray the Ciara prayer and want to Russell Wilson, and when they get him, they don't even know what the fuck to do. They say, oh, that's the boring guy. Like I always say, nice guys finish last. So after they finish running the streets, that's when they want to settle down with that nice guy. Gentlemen, don't be the nice guy. Be the first choice. Always be the first choice, because they'll do shit like this. They won't appreciate you. They will say you have no value, and they'll leave. Then they go back to the streets and get ran through again. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. And all I want to do is ask this young lady one question. And you want to get married. Pack it up.
All right, y'all. So do you side with a man or woman in the case I'm about to present here? Okay, I'm actually going to side with the man on it, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. So this man and this woman, husband and wife, they're having a party. They've been married for a couple years, and the guy's stepkid, her kid, you know, is there at the party. Everybody's having a good time or whatever, and he's giving relationship advice to some of their friends. And she comes over and says, don't take relationship advice from him. And he thinks she's playing around and says, well, it got me you, didn't it? And he gives her a kiss or whatever. And she says, the only reason you got me is because I was recently divorced, scared, and I had a kid. And basically he was a safe choice. And he goes silent. Right? And I mean, I don't know. That would be so freaking devastating. Okay. But a couple days later, she realizes how silent and how affected he is. And she tries apologizing. He said, I'll be okay. And then like 2 weeks later, she's starting to get into panic because he will not talk to her. He won't do anything. She starts cooking his favorite foods, trying to do all the things that he likes, even goes so far as to have their kids go stay at her parents' house, or his stepkid and her kid go stay at the parents' house. And then she takes him somewhere that was important to them. And they go stay a couple nights there. And then when they come back, he goes to work for a couple days. He comes back. As soon as he walks in the door, he said, can you sit down on the couch for a second? Sits down and said, we're done. We're getting a divorce. And she tried everything. She begged him not to go. She said, I love you now. I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. I actually side with the guy on this. And I'm not trying to be mean. I understand everybody's situation would be different. But the fact of the matter is, and a lot of people are going to say, no, you work harder on a marriage. To me, that contract's null and void, because she did not love him when she got into the relationship. Okay. She saw safety. She was panicked after her recent divorce, being a stay-at-home mom with a single kid. So she latched onto the first guy she didn't even love because he had money and could provide safety. And that's what she did, and admitted that's what she did. And so when he found out, he's like, oh, you don't love me? I don't want you then. Okay. The only thing that gives me hesitation about ending the marriage and everything would be the kid. How attached to him is the kid? Because it sounded like the other father wasn't in, he's a father figure, but the other real dad wasn't in the picture. And so you kind of don't want to harm the kid, but I'm also one who does not believe in parenting marriages. I've seen 4 of them in my own life. Every single one of them have their kids horrible messes, multiple divorces when they get older and all that stuff. But that's a side subject. This subject is, do you agree with this guy for divorcing her? She said she admitted she didn't love him. She just chose him for safety. And to me, that would be about the only more devastating thing a woman could do is love me and then cheat on me, which to me means she never really loved me in the first place. But let me know what your thoughts are. I would definitely side with the guy on this, but I understand everybody's got their own opinion.
I interviewed a lot of men that were victims of divorce. And these are men that lost everything in divorce. Wives left, took the kids, took their money. And I found out it was a common pattern. After the second child, a lot of these women stop sleeping with their husbands and get the divorce. Most men live on their wife's terms, not theirs. The people that don't want to get married, oh, I understand it. There's no good reason for a guy to do that in 2024. None. The odds are completely stacked against you. The laws are completely stacked against you. The average marriage, it's not a good experience for most men because they don't get anything out of it. My conclusion is the couples that make it work and figure it out in this mess of an environment, you know they're there because they love each other. Because there's nothing in this society that's keeping people together. Marriage seems to be going away for the middle class and be something for the upper class, and that's it.
How much would it suck if you went to approach your husband and you were thinking, oh my God, he looks so hot and I miss him so much and I just want to be close to him, and you started to kiss him, right? And you're like approaching him sexually and he looks at you with disgust and his body changes. Like, you could have just been having a normal conversation, but all of a sudden he's just like, no, thank you. I would be like, am I fat? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, oh my God, my husband, is he cheating on me? Like all of these terrible feelings would go through my body. I can't tell you how many times I did this to my husband, my poor husband. I would reject him over and over and over again. He would shut down, he would isolate because, gosh, like, that's the worst feeling, right? I'd be wondering, why are you not leading our family? Like, what's wrong? Like, am I not worth fighting for? But my actions were saying, like, you aren't worthy and you aren't enough. when I changed and decided to change my heart and start forgiving and working on the deeper stuff, like things that I was holding in here when I would hold out, and I needed to talk to him about that. I needed to heal in those areas, but I also needed to be intimate and show him that I desire him and that I care about him and that there's so many good things about him. And I had to start complimenting him and just being a person that he loved to be around. When I became that person and when I desired him and showed him that I just thought he was the hottest thing in the world, he started to move mountains. He started reading more marriage books, and he started to change in ways that I just never even thought was possible. My husband is currently packing his bags and also packing our kids' stuff because he is going to leave to another state, all because I cheated on him with a mutual friend. My husband and I have been together for a while. No, I don't think there was any issues in the relationship or marriage whatsoever. I actually thought our life was pretty perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another. I think I was just really tired of the fact that my husband was constantly working to make sure that we had a roof over our heads and to make sure that everything was paid, and so I just felt very lonely, so I decided that I was just going to message his friend, you know, just like we are friends, nothing else, that was it, and then all of a sudden it just led to something else. I mean, at least I had the balls to actually tell my husband what was going on because I could have kept it from him, you know, I could have just moved on without telling him shit. After I told him, I was very surprised about his reaction because he was not freaking out or panicking. He just said, okay, and then he said he was going to pack his shit and go, but he was also going to take the kids. He was very demure, if I can say that word. Yes, I just thought he was going to accept the fact that I was cheating on him and then we could just move on and, you know, continue with our perfect lives. But no, he instead chose that he wants to actually leave with our kids, and now I'm panicking.
You know, I really do wish they would start telling us what the other was. I got to know this so-and-so and so-and-so, and one thing led to another. Okay. Well, what was it that led to the other thing? What was the one thing that you started at? And how did that lead to the other?
So, what were you saying about not having fun?
I'm done having fun. I'm done having fun. I had so much fun in my 20s. So much fun with so many men. Too much fun, honestly. I think I, reached the fun limit. But I'm serious about dating. I'm in my 30s. I have a plan. I have a time frame. I have deadlines.
Right.
I want a baby in a year. I just froze my eggs. I want a ring in 9 months, and I want to be married a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I'm looking for someone who is at that level.
Well,
and is willing to meet me at that level.
For sure. This is our first date, so
yeah,
I feel
know.
Like
that's why I'm being crystal clear, because so many men look just like you, have just wasted years of my life, and I'm so sick of it, and I'm not going to let it happen.
Well, I thought you were trying to have fun, so it's
no,
like...
I'm not having fun. I'm done having fun.
Right, you're done with fun now, but before...
I had so much fun.
Yeah, that much is clear.
A lot of men.
Yeah, I'm picturing a lot of things.
And I don't need to do it anymore. And honestly, you're really not my type. My friend told me to go out with you, and because she seems like you're the type that wants to settle down. So
okay.
Normally I don't go for you, but I feel like maybe you're at the same place in your life and my life.
I don't know. This might not be a great fit.
First date, and she's already laying out a full timeline like it's a business meeting. Baby in a year, ring in 9 months, marriage in 2. That's not romance. That's a checklist. The whole vibe screams desperation and not attraction. Nothing makes a man lose interest faster than feeling like he's being recruited to fix a life plan that's already behind schedule. This is the problem with the fun years. A whole decade spent running around, stacking memories, stacking baggage, and then when the party's over, suddenly it's time to get serious. But serious doesn't erase mileage. Serious doesn't erase the past. The truth is simple. No man with options is signing up to be the retirement plan after a decade of chaos. No man with self-respect is rushing into a contract just because she wasted her prime and now wants to hit fast forward. Love doesn't grow under pressure. It dies there. And any guy who sticks around after hearing that kind of speech on a first date isn't her soulmate. He's just desperate enough to play along.
Are you fucking serious?
I am. I'm a motherfucking problem. I promise you. I'm ungovernable. I've been with lawyers. I've been with doctors.
Oh, okay.
I've been with white men.
Oh my God, she reached the top of the mountain. She's been with white men. Oh my God.
She's been with them, but how many ever retained you? All that means to me is that you will let men of any race go deep inside, and then they throw you back to the streets from where you came.
And the only reason why white men are the saviors for the moment is because society allows them to be. So once I deconstructed that, I went back to black men, and I'm here to stay.
want to make a point because I don't even want to touch that. I think the internet's going to touch that for us. But I think you said that
If this goes out,
you said that
you might have to cut this part.
Yeah, you got
It's out, baby.
to cut her part. You know, 'cause- yeah. What she said was some bullshit. But you
What I
said
said was some bullshit.
Let me explain. 'Cause you held the mic.
You're very sensitive.
You held the mic.
You're extremely
I've been taking my turn. I've been taking my turn.
Yeah, she's extremely sensitive. And I grew up around boys. Like, I know sensitive boys.
Yeah.
I have all
So
boy
sensitive.
cousins.
So sensitive.
I
I'm
know.
gonna cry after this podcast is over.
Look
I
at
can look
Please,
in
get
the
me
eyes and see
Yes,
who
tears.
really
Tears.
got it.
Oh my God.
No.
I won't be able to sleep at night thinking about, oh my God, if I could only be with a woman like that. Anyway, but the point I want to make, right, is this.
You think the internet gonna grind me up?
Oh yeah, they're gonna chew me
Yeah.
up. They're gonna chew me up.
No, sorry. All the man said was that was some bullshit, and through your own emotion and irrationality, you began to call him out of being a boy.
Women, Ben.
You're not married. You don't have any
She ain't
kids.
gonna let him talk.
You're a YouTuber. I'm a veteran. I'm a widow because I was married, right? I have a daughter that I put in one of the best schools in this country, right? I'm not gonna say how much I make money, but I make very good money. I'm a contributor to my community.
And I still don't want
and all that. I don't want you. Like, what the?
And I don't want.
You're still gonna be a leftover, baby. She's screaming she's not masculine from the mountaintops, but even outside of her wounded masculine behavior, she's currently competing the things that she's done within her life to a man.
That's absolutely fine. But she believes that men of value want this. She believes men of value want this.
Uh-oh.
You smell funny, right?
I smell funny?
Yes, you do. You smell
you
funny,
say-
and the niggas that I fuck with, you can never touch. Even the white boys, you lame ass. Are you fucking serious? Get the fuck out of here.
Yo.
Get the fuck out of here. See, I told you don't bring me around these nut ass. I make too much money. I make $350,000
So
a
then
year.
represent yourself. So then represent yourself like a professional woman. Sit down and have a conversation.
She's not gonna let him speak. She knows exactly what's about to come. Exactly what's about to come. He about to fire up. And she don't want that. She don't want that. She just want to say all that nonsense. And now he's gonna say, okay, well, now let's assess what you just said. Oh, I don't want that. I was feeling on top of the world, but now you're about to bring me back down to reality. I'm not looking for that.
I want to say to all men, whether you're dating, engaged, or married, or divorced, two things, or maybe three, but two things you should never, ever, ever attempt to do. Not only should you not do it, but you should even attempt to do it. And that is please your wife or hold on to her. Never, ever, as long as you walk this earth, never, if your wife want to leave, you can tell her why she shouldn't go, but don't be desperate and try to make her stay. You will live to regret it. And the second thing, the more you try to please her, the worse she gets. She hates you more. It's not meant to be that way. That way was not created by God. That was created by weak men.
Every time life disappoints a man, it changes him. And every time his woman hurts him, he might not say anything, but he starts looking at her and women in a different way. Every disappointment, every letdown, it changes him. And it makes him realize that most women don't bring peace. They bring pressure. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it real. They bring pressure. So that man is going to pull back. He's going to lock in on his pockets, his mind, his mental, his next plan. And when a man gets to that stage, a pretty face and a nice body, yeah, that's cool. But it's not enough. It might get his attention because men are men. But he's scanning for depth. And as women, we have to understand where they're coming from. Because when you've survived enough storms by yourself and you live in a society that always blames you and does not give you grace, you realize the wrong woman, the wrong partner is just more weight, more mouths, more mix-ups, more headaches, more drama. Too much.
Like, oh, what if she finds another guy? You think she's better than you. You think she's above you, which is why you believe that she'll find another guy. Like, you think that she's out of your league, which is why you're afraid of her finding another guy. I can promise you the reason why she's with you is because she likes you. I don't care if there's not a fucking commitment. If y'all are acting like you're in a relationship, then you're in a relationship. There's just not a label yet. But like, people, they don't give that access to just anyone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can get whatever the fuck you want. Don't listen to these people telling you it's not possible. They're full of shit. And they're gonna project onto you. Just because it wasn't fucking possible for you doesn't mean it's the same for me. Like, I'm different than you. That's why it's gonna work for me and not you. Like, look at you and look at me. I'm better than you. That's why I'm gonna get it. That's why I'm not gonna fucking listen to you. And another thing that I want to tell y'all. You do not have to put in so much fucking work to get what you want. Fuck what these people are telling you. Oh, do this and do this all day. It's okay to have your days where you literally like don't feel like shit, right? You could have your days where you're like insecure and shit, right? Do I like my hair like that or like this? I don't fucking know. Like, you don't have to be perfect all the time to attract what you want. Or like, you don't have to affirm all day to get what you want. I tried that myself, affirming all day, and then I ended up getting frustrated with not getting it. You just need to let your thoughts ride. Like, if
the truth shall set us free.
Let's get into it, family. Women tend to make decisions in the heat of the moment, where the thoughts are super loud and extremely hard to quiet. And we make a move, not in clarity, but all in our feelings. The reality is it's unforgiveness that has turned into real resentment. And you feel, or she feels, like she doesn't feel anything for that person anymore. But really it's unforgiveness. So then we explode in bitterness. But what we don't understand and we don't realize is that bitterness and resentment are strong feelings, just in the wrong direction. And so once they leave the relationship and some time has passed and they done calm down, they start to remember the positive things. Start thinking that, man, this probably could have worked out. And we quickly realize that unforgiveness that turned into resentment and bitterness was the end of a relationship you never truly wanted to end.
If you walked away from a partner who wasn't abusive and wasn't cheating, but you just weren't happy, this is for you. Sometimes ending a relationship has nothing to do with someone being a bad person. You can love someone and still feel completely alone in the relationship. You can respect someone and still realize you've outgrown each other. You can appreciate who they are as a person and still be exhausted because you've been carrying the entire mental load or managing the house and the kids and all of it. I have never met a woman who walked away from a good man without a fight. Usually they've tried for years. There was many conversations and asking for support and begging them for things to be different. And then somewhere along the way, you just stop hoping that things will change and you realize you have to be the one to change. So if you left a marriage that looked fine from the outside, but was slowly breaking you on the inside, you are allowed to choose your own joy and peace over duty. And you're allowed to want a partner, not a roommate. That doesn't make you selfish or dramatic or a quitter or a failure. You are growing and you are evolving as a human being. And sometimes that requires you to walk away from things that aren't growing with you anymore.
More of the same stupidity. More the same. More the same stupidity. She says here in the caption, sometimes you're not leaving a bad man. You're leaving a life that no longer feels like you. Feels like you. You're leaving loneliness. You're leaving the mental load. You're leaving the version of yourself who kept shrinking just to keep the peace. If you're leaving this, then you're leaving a bad man. How can he be a good man if he's having you do all of this? If he's leaving you lonely, he wouldn't be a good man. Good man is attentive to you. He listens to your problems. He takes care of you to the best of his ability. It won't be a mental load. It might be a division of labor, but it won't be a mental load. If he's a really good man, when they talk about he's a good man, Savannah, well, I don't really like him, but he's a good man. He's going to take care of you. So where's the mental load going to come in? That's what that's about. Even when you're looking at the Notebook, right? I mean, both of those guys could have taken care of her. But one man, he said, man, I give you everything I got. I don't have the abundance as this other rich guy who said he was going to take care of you does. And we have no reason to believe that the rich guy that she left for this guy that was broke, we have no reason to believe that he wasn't going to be good to her and take care of her. It's just that she didn't really have a passion for him like she did the other guy, the original guy that her parents made her pull away from, right? So either guy was going to take care of you. One guy just worked with his hands. The other guy had a little bit more money, so he didn't necessarily have to do that. But both guys were going to be good to you. Both guys, despite you being volatile, despite you having a terrible attitude, they were still going to put up with you and take care of you. He's a good man. You're leaving the good guy. This is what you're telling yourself in the caption as a coping mechanism, because you suck at being a wife. Instead of just taking accountability and say, you know what, I signed up for not one but two marriages and they didn't work out because I was selfish. Taking a little bit of accountability. Oh, it's the man's fault. You're tired of the men. Shut your stupid behind up.
Having feelings for another man while you're engaged is not cheating. I will die on this soapbox. I was engaged. I had feelings for another man because I was in a play with this other guy and I was spending hours and hours and hours and hours during practice with him. And just to clarify, there was no romantic feelings. There was no inappropriate feelings. It was just a feeling like he was kind of becoming my best friend. And I thought that was weird because I was engaged and I was just kind of gelling with this guy and connecting with him during play practices. I didn't go over to his house. I didn't call him. There was no foul play. Apparently, the majority of people on Instagram call that cheating. And I'm just weirded out. Because if you can just feel connected to a guy and you're a cheater, that's not right. That is not right. I will die on the soapbox that I did not cheat on my ex-fiance. I don't care if millions of people, I don't care if Donald Trump himself comes down from the White House and tells me I cheated on my ex-fiance. I know I did not cheat. Having feelings for another guy is not cheating. Nobody can convince me of that. And emotional cheating. There has to be secrecy and boundaries crossed for any type of cheating. And there was neither of those in my situation. I was telling my fiance the entire time that I was feeling like that. We had multiple conversations that I was kind of starting to feel close with him and we were just like bonding really well. And the moment that I knew I had to call my wedding off is when I realized I was going to miss the other guy when the play ended. Again, not cheating. Realizing you're gonna miss somebody, even if you're engaged, not cheating. Okay, let me just point that out. But that is when I knew I had to call the wedding off. And it was not even a week. It was not even 3 days. It was 2 days from the time I realized I missed this other guy. The very next morning, I woke up and texted my fiance, hey, I need some time to think. 2 days later, called off the wedding. That's not cheating. If it would have gone on for months and months and months, and a boundary was crossed, and I was hiding stuff, that's cheating. I did not cheat. That is a hill I will die on, and apparently I'm in a minority. And if you agree with me, you're apparently in a minority too. So let's be friends because, yeah, everybody else is crazy.
I mean, you sound like an idiot, respectfully. You sound like an idiot. I think she said something to the effect of, I don't care how many hate comments I get. Is it really a hate comment or is it an accountability comment?
Are you denying that feminism, the lens and framework of feminism, is not women have it worse than men? That is the entirety of feminism.
To be honest, I just thought it was about equality. Yeah.
But explain to me why after 100 years of equality that women have no duty to the United States. Women shouldn't be subject to military conscription. They're not subject to the selective service. They're not subject to the draft. Why is that? If feminism is about equality, shouldn't feminists feminists be actively fighting for women to be subject to military conscription? Where are they? Where are the feminists who are fighting for this? That's the issue with feminism. You only seek equality in the ways and frameworks that would benefit women. But arriving at equality where women will not reap a benefit, you will not fight for it. In fact, if we do attempt to get equality between men and women, but it somehow inconveniences women, you'll actually fight against it. You'll fight against the attempt for equality. So you can't call feminism an equality movement.
What is it? Why? Why are women, according to this study, statistically more than men okay with political violence?
Yeah, there are two phrases that I've talked about a lot on my show over the past few years. One of them is misplaced mothering, and one of them is toxic empathy. Misplaced mothering is just kind of a theory that I have, that the natural nurturing that most women are born with, it doesn't ever go away. You're going to channel it towards something. You can channel it towards a child, or you could channel it towards a profession or politics. When it's not channeled in the right direction, it gets perverted and actually manifests itself in bitterness and resentment and anger. What I see happening a lot on the left is these women are taking on these purported victims, whether it's the illegal alien or the man who thinks he's born in the wrong body, taking them in as if they are their children. And that mama bear instinct to attack who they perceive as enemies really comes out. I think that's what we saw with Renee Good and her partner. I think we see that with a lot of progressive female activists. They think they are protecting their vulnerable children in some way.
That is fascinating. Mama bear for political cause.
Yeah.
And you would, of course, do anything to protect your child.
Exactly.
But if the cause is your child, then you accept political violence.
Exactly.
I think it's a little bit different. I think for a lot of women, I would say, I think women usually do things socially, and they do things in a group. And political violence can be done in a group. You can be together. You can have the hive mentality where let's go. Like, and then you just spill over the top, and women don't hold themselves accountable. So when it happens, they're like, well, means to an end. I hated feeling like that. I had to get that feeling off me. Right? And it's a similar concept to what they dislike about men, where men are like, oh man, they say that men, like, they lust so much that, oh man, you just have to, stick your thing in everything that moves, right? Modern women, the concept of their emotions are kind of like the same. They just have to blow up on everything. They just have to just unload on everything, and they'll deal with the repercussions later. And this is what political violence is for a lot of these modern women. They've blown up on something. They've overflowed on something. They've found a target that, they're just upset about, and I'm angry, and I'm, Super Saiyan angry, and I just have to grab something and just really rip it apart and tear it apart. And once it's done, you kind of have that, I don't want to say post nut, but that post emotion clarity, to where you see all the damage and the carnage done, and you say, I didn't want that to happen, but it was necessary. I feel better now. Until the next target comes along, and you're like, I gotta do it. And then once again, you go through the same cycle over and over again. And this is what you're seeing from these types of women. Them emotionally dumping, them emotionally trying to overtake different scenarios and situations that they believe is rightfully theirs. Like the outcome, they believe whatever it is, they're right about it. They're absolutely 100% right about it. It is their right to not only speak up, but to have what exactly they are asking for. Nobody else's feelings matter. Nobody else's input matters. None of that. I'm going to get what I want, how I want, whenever I want it, I will hold you down and force you to give me what I told you I wanted. That's why they're okay with it. I'm going to get what I want by any means necessary. That's how modern women act.
I want to know what y'all would do in this situation.
So his phone rings and he looks down at it. It's one of his female friends. And he's like, hello, what's up? And she's like, hey, what you doing tonight? And he's like, nothing, chilling. She's like, well, I need to have my TV mounted to the wall. I got all the tools. Would you come do it for me? I'll pay you $50. He's like, oh, whatever. Let me know when you want me to be there. And she's like, come over anytime you want. And he's like, all right, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So he gets up, happy to go out and make some money. He gets to her house and she's like, what's up? I ain't seen you in a long time. They hug or whatever. She hands him a shot of vodka. She's like, drink up before you get started. And he's like, okay. So he starts to, do her mountain job and he puts it up perfectly. 30 minutes, he's already finished. And she's like, thank you. Here's another shot. And he's like, all right. And then she says, well, now that we got the TV up, what are we going to watch on it? And he's like, okay, that's what's up. And then they sit down and they start watching a movie. Well, halfway through the movie, they start hunching. And I'm talking about that good hunching where they forget the rest of the movie and they just enjoying each other. Eventually, they fall asleep. Well, he wakes up first and he's like, oh my God, what happened? I ain't never, hit this chick like this. So, but that's all good. He stands up, starts to get dressed, puts on his clothes, puts on his shoes, and she's laying in the bed still asleep. And he looks over at her and he's like, okay, wait, should I just leave or should I wake up and ask her to pay me them $50? You think she still owe him $50?
Okay, so in my opinion, she still owes him $50. Now, he can decline it, but she still owes him $50. And I say that because it's not like he asked for the buns. She offered the buns, just like she offered the vodka. Was he supposed to take that off his tab too? So to me, she wanted it just as much as he did. See, a lot of people only think about how men want the P, but they forget that a lot of women out there want the D. So maybe him doing that with her was something that she really wanted. She might have been crushing on him this whole time, and she finally got what she wanted. If you really think about it, that's probably not the only man she could have called. She could have called her brother, uncle, or somebody else, or another guy. So she probably had this whole thing planned. She probably knew she was going to give him the buns when she first picked up the phone. So now that I'm thinking about it, not only do she owe him the $50 for the TV, she needed to give him some money for that D he was throwing around in that bedroom. So he shouldn't have to pay for that. Now, if he was putting a full court press on trying to get her, and she kept turning him down, and then she finally gave it to him, then you have to really look at that differently. But in this situation, I believe she still owe him $50. Again, he can reject it if he wants, but she needs to offer him that $50 to keep things on the up and up. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think about it? Leave your thoughts on the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.
Does she owe him the $50? Yeah. Is she going to give it to him? No. He should have seen this coming from a mile away. Even if he says, hey, can you come mount my TV? He says, yeah, all right. So she gets there. Hey, why don't you have a shot? We already know where this is going from you wanting me to have a shot. So I'll put up the TV. You give me another shot. I mean, you can see that plain as day. If you didn't see that by then, when she's saying, okay, so what should we watch? That is a dead giveaway. That's a dead giveaway at that point in time. You already know what she's trying to set up for. She's not wanting to pay you the money. She's wanting to use her body in exchange. Now, like CJ was saying, well, she might have wanted that too. She probably did, but she just didn't want to pay for it, right? I get a little something out of it. I gave him some P for doing the work, and I sent him on his way. That should be enough. Which, by the way, you value yourself at $50 is a crazy statement. But if that's what you value yourself as, fantastic. But that's what, in my opinion, that's what she was doing it for. Because she didn't want to pay, even if she had the money, she didn't want to pay him for it. She didn't want that cash. Oh, I can give this out for free and I can still keep my cash. That's how a lot of women use their body. That's why you have a lot of adult stars, OF girls, that sort of thing, because they don't really value themselves in the beginning. That's why they give it out freely. And it catches up with them in the later years when they're looking to settle down and a man says, okay, great. What is your body count? Or however it comes up. And then you have to tell them all of those skeletons you got in your closet.
Find other men attractive besides?
I mean, I can acknowledge somebody looks good.
Yeah, I noticed that. She didn't say no.
She just
Are you?
Huh?
Are you?
I mean, he's fine, but no, he's not my type. For sure not. He was very nice.
Ah, come on, Larry. I respect you, but you chose the fucking wrong girl there. You know what I'm saying? Send her back the fucking streets. She's doing that right in front of you as well. I'll say it again, I do respect you, laddie. But fucking hell, how can you let her disrespect you like that right in front of you? Come on, stay woke in these streets, big brr.
It's a very strange time to be a male, to be a boy, to be a man. It's a very confusing time. When I was growing up, there were icons in sports, in movies, you know, the kind of the rugged masculine hero, but in all aspects of life. You know, I remember as a 3-year-old, I can remember John F. Kennedy on the television. I was fascinated by him. It was a man who was very commanding. He was the president, but there was also a weird kind of softness to him, like a strange poetic side to it that drew me in. There were these icons. You wanted to grow out of adolescence. You wanted to become a man. You wanted to enter the world and follow in the footsteps of some of these people that you admired. But now it's like being a male, being a masculine is almost ugly. It's dirty. It's almost like something you have to wipe off your skin. Toxic masculinity. But, you know, there's something you have to say about testosterone. It can turn ugly, but it drives you. It makes you do things. It's got a positive element. It gives you ambition. It makes you go out and do things. 12,000 years ago, it made you go hunt mastodons and kill them with your other members, right? There should be positive things about being a man. And so then I don't want to stay in adolescence. Don't want to stay in this little cocoon with my mommy and my daddy in my home playing games. I want to go out in the world. I want to conquer. I want to have ambition. I think the root of the problem is that there's no kind of positive masculinity out there. And so it doesn't give people an incentive to get out of that little kind of adolescent cocoon.
The woman who's nice to you and would be a great wife and who's so deeply embedded in God, she's also the nice guy who finishes last. Because there's a saying that says nice guys finish last. Well, that kind of woman also finishes last, but we're not ready to have this conversation. Because I have seen men meet a God-fearing, really beautiful, just gentle soul who complements his strengths, you know, but he's too busy being a wounded masculine and chasing another tail that he doesn't even see that. So also these women are not finding the good man who's willing to go the mile with her. I said what I said.
Does this woman know that she complements his strengths? Because a lot of women come off like this. They come off as great and you can see the chemistry like you're talking about and the complementary strengths and, you know, weaknesses and stuff like that. You can see that, but does she know that? Like, is she aware of that? Right? Because she might be doing the same thing. So I'm saying, I mean, we can have the conversation. I do believe that there are some men out there and, you know, sometimes we say pretty, but she's not really all that cute. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, she's like a 4, right? Or else the man, like she could get a man. You know what I mean? Like for her to be nice and nobody's coming up to her, that almost never happens. Women get the opportunity early and a lot of times often. I know you have women out there say, oh, I've never been approached this, and that. But they have been approached. They just didn't like the option of it. They just didn't feel like that was a good option for them, right? They end up chasing a man that's not really interested in them. Nice guys finish last. Nice women finish last. I think a lot of times if they want to, they can finish last. Sure, you have a lot of nice women out there, but a lot of times I would say, are you aware that you're complimenting him, that you can compliment him? Oh, he's chasing this person, he's chasing that person. While this man that you want is chasing that person, the man that you're overlooking as a nice girl is all up in your face. And he is qualified. You know what I mean? That usually is how it ends up. You're looking for, I mean, they can be nice, but then they start talking about, well, you know, I would like a man that's 6 feet tall, you know, or he's a little bit taller than me, because, and the way they explain it is nice, right? And it's gentle, but they still end up wanting the same thing as one of these modern women. They just a little bit nicer in the way they say it. And they have a little bit gentler spirit, because the man that's going to come right up underneath the guy that they're looking for, he's available, but she's ignoring him. that's probably what you're going to see. She's ignoring that guy. And it's not only one guy. It's multiple men that she has the option of at least looking at and going out on a date with. So if you really wanted to explore, you would start exploring with these guys. But a lot of these ladies don't. But I guess we're not ready for that conversation either.
Here's why, even if you're an attractive man, all women are trying to manipulate you and basically withhold their interest. And I can show you. Here's what I mean. If you see how a woman messages her girlfriend, she's extremely communicative. Like, she likes to communicate. Okay, so go over to your girlfriend or go over to your sister or your mom or whatever and say, hey, let me see your messages between you and your girlfriends. And once you do that, right, once you see her messages with her girlfriends, you will see paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of heavy investment and sentence after sentence. And what that means is it doesn't even matter if what her girlfriend said was a good text message or a bad text message. You have to understand this. Women just like to talk. The difference is they don't want to talk or like to talk to you. Instead, what she's going to do is she's going to use game and withhold interest, and she's going to give you very short sentences to make you feel unwanted. So what that looks like is when you message something thoughtful or nice, or you say something like, hey, I will make plans for us on Saturday. Would you like to come with me? And even if you're an attractive man, even if your SMV is higher than hers, even if technically she is in your league, okay? She will still most likely say something to you like, I'll let you know, or we'll see, or maybe. It's going to be something very short. And she does this to crush your spirit. She does this to purposely crush your spirit because she's withholding interest and using game to essentially manipulate and emasculate. This is what you have to know is women actually like to talk. Women will talk and talk and talk and talk. They just don't talk to you. Now, the thing is she thinks in her mind that this is good. She thinks in her mind that this is okay, and she thinks in her mind that this is how it's supposed to be because that's how you make him chase, and basically you go, girl, you make him work for it. Only to keep listening to the advice that all of her girlfriends are giving her, which is leaving her perpetually single. And this is how she gets to be 37, 38, 39, 40 years old, single, childless, and then all of a sudden those wrinkles start to creep in, and all of a sudden she's not getting any of the options that she got when she was 27, 28, 29, and she goes, oh no, I believed the wrong things. Oh no, I kept listening to all of my girlfriends who actually just wanted to keep me single because my girlfriends actually didn't want to see me succeed because they were all in competition wanting the same men as well. Which is why women will perpetually just keep giving themselves false advice, but they will only listen to each other. So if you get rejected as a man, don't take that very seriously. It doesn't even really matter. You have to understand that most of them today just believe the wrong things that keeps them single.
I'm seeing a man in the woods. I'm already thinking I'm getting got.
Most men don't commit this crime.
If I see a man or bear, I would rather see a bear personally, because if I'm seeing a man out there, my first thought is I'm gonna get got.
Stop the cap.
I'm not. No, I'm so serious. You know that you walk by 32 serial killers in your life? Like, that shit's scary. If we're talking about the scenario in the woods, I would rather run into a bear.
Does it come down to this, like the man could essay you?
It's just like if I'm in the woods and I see an unknown man, like obviously like that's just weird. Like for me, my guard would be up. But I'm saying if there's something I'd rather see a bear.
How many times have you crossed paths with an unknown male and something happened?
A lot.
I'm sure you've gone hiking, walking, and you've crossed paths many times. Have you been or what?
None of your business.
Well, there's a reason why you're avoiding them.
I don't think that's avoiding them. I feel like there's nothing wrong with wanting to not run into a man in the woods.
But if you can't avoid the bear.
But I feel like
they're closing women's bank accounts. I repeat, they are closing women's bank accounts in the US right now.
Wow, that is kind of weird. Was it your checking, your savings?
So last month, my credit card got its credit limit lowered.
Wait, you said this was about bank accounts. A credit card's not a bank account, and it's not closed.
With no explanation.
They didn't tell you why at all? I mean, nothing? No communication?
And they gave like a dozen reasons.
So there's no explanation, but they give you a dozen reasons.
I don't know if they are going down the hole of The Handmaid's Tale and literally watching and copying the TV show and canceling all of the women's bank accounts and trying to lower our credit limits and all this other stuff.
So let me get this straight. You're on here telling women that they're taking away their bank accounts even though it's a credit card where the credit limit was lowered, so they're not the same thing. You're telling them that they gave you no explanation while they gave you a dozen reasons. But because none of those reasons satisfy your inner paranoia where you believe that Trump is out to take away women's rights, you're now telling women that the only legitimate explanation is that this administration is trying to copy a TV show. Do you understand how insane you sound? This is just one more confirmation where liberal women absolutely wake up every single day looking for ways to confirm that they are a victim. What a miserable way to live.
You're not making enough money. You're not using your credit. You have too much of a balance and they don't trust you to pay it back. All of those could be reasons why you got your credit limit lowered. Man, what are you talking about?